What's up, everybody? Welcome to Off the Ropes YouTube. Good afternoon. What's up, Julian?
Going on, George, man? How we
Host
doing, people?
George. Hey, we're here. Just got a notification right now that KO Kenny is on live too. Damn it. Sorry, Kenny. Didn't mean to do that. This was for the moment again. This is
My bad, Kenny.
our second episode where we had to kind of do this spur of the moment.
Yeah,
Graduation
sure.
month. Been taking up both of our times, but here we are, guys. Off the ropes. Here we are introducing you guys for the episode. I think our last episode of May. But Julian, how you doing, man?
Doing pretty well, man. We can just getting ready for the shit show of a weekend. It's already started. It's already started already. Fight week.
That's mean. That's mean. I want to say
Fight
shit
week.
show. Come on now.
Hey, bro, it's been a
The
crap
hype.
show. They've been crap. They've been shitting on each other for the last 3 days, bro.
Yeah.
It's been pretty funny. It's been hella funny.
Absolutely that we cannot deny that it's funny. But
yeah, it's
anyways,
hilarious.
Yeah, and let's
get
jump
going.
right into these episodes. Right into these topics. First one is the Benavidez Lemeiux. Good fight. Or I don't want to say good fight. It was a good showcase for Benavidez. Julian, what did you see this, man?
Just like I thought what he really was gonna do. I thought it was gonna go a little bit longer, of course. But like I said, the power and the combinations with Benavidez is just too much. Just too much for David Lemeiux. David Lemeiux, yes, all respect to him. He was fighting back, but I mean, the dude was just getting tagged up, man. I mean, in 3 rounds, look, he already went 8. Like like David Lemeiux, I mean, he really shouldn't have. Technically, this is pretty much a showcase for David Benavidez, I guess you could say, a stay busy fight. Like a lot of people have been calling it. I really think it is a stay busy fight now. What about you, man? How'd you see it, man? How'd you see the ass kicking?
Ass kicking, hey man, it was what you expected from Benavidez. It was against Lemeiux that has not fought at 168, of course, coming up, showcasing what he was supposed to. What I don't like is people saying already a comparison, the way he blew out Lemeiux, saying, Canelo's running from him, he don't want to fight him, this and that. Not the case, guys. Please, not the case. This is what you do against the opponent. This is what you do with the opponent.
You're supposed to do this too.
Yeah, you're supposed to run through a Lemeiux like this. No, I mean, no disrespect to Lemeiux fans or Lemeiux himself, but I mean, he knew what it was. He went in there. He actually gave he went in there. He threw some shots, even hurt. He landed some good body shots. But all in all, it's what you wanted from Benavidez. You wanted to see him steamroll him. He did it quick. I thought it was going to end first. I was pretty scared there for a minute for Lemeiux, but he went, he went all out as he could to the very end. Benavidez, what's next for Benavidez now? I mean, is it Charlo? Is it Plant? Is it Morel? All those names are being thrown out there. Who do you see next?
We talked about it the other day. Get David Morel. I think David Morel. He's. I kind of actually came to agreement with you the other day. Actually, that David Morel might actually be the better of the opponents. We all know Charlo's probably going to run away. I'm just practicing it, bro. That's just a fact. It's just stuff I've just been hearing. I know he's gonna run away from this fight very easily. He's gonna really shy away. But we're talking about a Plant. We're talking about a Plant Morel. I can see those 2 fights. One of those 2 fights playing out. Morel probably being the bigger. I would say being the bigger test of them both. Only saying because I mean, if you look at Morel's record, if you look at Morel's record, bro, you have he's fought guys, bro, that have experience. All these dudes that he's fought are other than the first guy he fought. I mean, he's what 9 fights deep? Is that what it is?
Yeah, it's like something like less than 10 fights.
Yeah, less than 10 fights. But I mean, everybody he's fought is actually has over 20-some freaking wins. And less than 2 losses. I mean, that's a lot of experience. I mean, if you look at some of the guys that he's fought, I mean, I don't have them off the top of my head right now, but I was looking at a list yesterday on Facebook. It kind of made sense to me from my buddy Trey that I always talk about. Yeah. It makes a lot of sense that Morel's actually jumped in already with guys that have already that have the experience in the ring, that actually show morale, even though morale hasn't really been through all 12.
Hmm.
You know, but Plant, I can see Plant playing out too. In this one as well. Only because they're already started taking jabs at each other a little bit on Twitter, on IG, and stuff like that. There you
Yeah.
go.
Well,
Yeah,
real
see,
quick, I'm
yeah,
sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. But yeah, here's David Morrell's last couple fights where
yeah.
he's
Look at the
ranked.
record. Look at the records on these guys, though.
Yeah,
Look at the record. What I'm talking about. That's just the experience level.
yeah. Atlantis Fox probably on here just off the top of my head is probably which was
The
the last
best
fight
one.
was the best one. I think he actually got his belt against Mario Caceres, which was back
Macatera.
in 20 on the 27th of 2021. So yeah,
Yeah.
he holds the interim belt for the WBA, which considered a champion, right? I mean, whoever doesn't matter who you're asking or whatever,
Yeah,
but he's
a lot of
he's
people
holding
say
the belt.
that's the email championship. A lot of people say that. A lot of people call Haney that right now too. So,
Yeah,
well, like I said, it's just another story. But yeah, David Moreno, if you guys don't know who he is, he has a hell of a freaking amateur background. His
yeah,
amateur
absolutely.
background is ridiculous. He's pretty much in the same line as Lomachenko came.
Hmm.
He's already like in that stage already where he's already getting these 10 round fights. Only because of amateur background.
Hmm.
And you see a lot of these fighters doing this right now. That have had the amateur background and now look where they're at.
Yeah.
They're fighting 10 rounders and a couple of them probably be going up for championships here pretty soon. So
Yeesh. Yeah. So I mean, I guess in short, what do you think is next for Benavidez out of the
I
names? I
want.
mean, do you think they'll give him another person that nobody wants to see, or do you actually think we'll see him with like a Plant or Benavidez?
Well,
I
it's
mean, we're
Al
not going to
Heyman.
see Canelo. Yeah.
Yeah, no hell. This is Al Heyman right here. We're talking about. Um, PBC's actually been horrible. Other than that banger they threw last weekend with a couple weeks back with Charlo and Castano.
Hmm.
That was a hell of a card they threw. I give them that. This card that they had, we had to see a lot of talent too. We even got to the Cuban prospect in Gomez, man. That damn kid, I love that kid.
Mm.
But like I said, this thing has a lot to do with Al Heyman, man. I posted a purse bid yesterday. Earlier today, and David Benavidez only made 325K for this fight,
Wow.
and it's kind of like, isn't this guy the intern? Isn't this the interim championship? So you're telling me PBC is having this much trouble paying their guys or getting these payments out, or
That's
even, or should I say, advertising their boxers?
yeah.
But it's just the whole thing with PBC, man. Something's not sitting right.
Yeah. So I mean, so who's your choice? Do you think we're going to see him in there with maybe?
I think I have like an 80% shot right now. We're gonna see him against Plant.
Yeah.
80% I'd say about Plant. The other 20 would probably be between Charlo and Morale, but I don't see the Charlo
Mhm.
fight happening.
Yeah, I mean,
You know,
I'm gonna agree with you on that too, man. I don't see that happening at least this year because obviously Charlo fights in June or July against Alecki. He probably might. There's even rumors that he might take another one of those type of fights before he steps in there with either Benavidez or whoever they want to line him up in with, or he might just move up. Well, I mean, he's gonna move up obviously to 68. I also Calix the other day. I was listening to his podcast. He was saying how Andrade might end up at PBC, especially with that roster at 168. And that might be like one of those chess moves for PBC to pull in a Canelo, right? Say Canelo's done with his DAZN. They're gonna try to reel in Canelo with these names, right? Andrade, Benavidez, Charlo for a PBC deal. And probably offer him like not a lucrative, but they're gonna offer him what they think is good for him. I think isn't a bad move
I,
if that's what Andre does.
I don't think Andrade has. I don't think Andrade has even proved himself, or even yet. I mean, he hasn't even fought in that division. Well, he has one time, but he just. I don't know. I just feel we should
At
maybe talk about
154,
right.
yeah. At
Oh yeah,
154,
154.
he was about to get that Canelo fight, but the WBC actually denied that
Yeah.
request. They ended up giving Canelo year. So it's not like he hasn't put himself anything yet, but the 160 is different, right? Well, I will say though, like the Andre career right now is a bit disappointing.
It is.
It's a
It
bit
is
disappointing for me.
disappointing.
And I'm a fan.
Yeah. I was a fan. Until but like I said, he can't. He has to fight somebody. You know, like somebody in Parker that he would have fought this past time would have been
That
something
would
to
have put
show
him in
us.
line there.
That would have
Yeah.
showed us, okay, maybe this dude's a little bit ready for this. But like I said, I mean, I don't, like I said, I mean, we've talked about it before. I just don't see Boo Boo
Yeah.
even competing with Canelo, truthfully.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't
You know,
either. But I think again, Benavidez, I believe, kind of plan is the front runner. And then
should be.
the earlier that day on Saturday, there was the zone card. There was Richard and Buatsi.
That
Crazy
was fun.
fight. Julian, go ahead and break it down a little bit if you want. I'm gonna get off the screen real quick. I'm gonna go and check on little guy.
Let's just put it this way. Yeah, go ahead, man. Like I said, man, I mean, Joshua Buatsi kept his unbeaten record intact, this weekend. He went to 16-0. Of course, he moved up closer to another world title shot. After beating Craig Richards by unanimous decision. Um, the fight actually surprised the crap out of a lot of people. I would say, me being one of them. Um, the fight was close, 115, 113. I had it that way for Buatsi. Um, Richards actually came out and he wasn't letting down, man. Richards was not letting down in this fight, and I was pretty impressed by Richards too. The fact that they were both able to go 12 rounds. They were both able to keep, their somewhat composure, going into these 12 rounds, and but I had it 115, 113. Big ups to Buatsi. He does need work.
Yeah.
He does need work. I mean, yes, he's getting closer to a title shot. You know, but let's see what the future holds for him. I'd like to see him probably in a bigger fight. This is 168, correct? That
Yeah,
they fought at.
168.
Yeah, so I mean, he even has options too. After this fight, there's even like Caleb Smith. Caleb Smith, even in that whole thing, he'll come back down at 168. He'll fight at 168, even though he's at 175 right now.
Yeah.
Just that'd be a respectful fight. I would like to see Buatsi and just to see
Oh,
if he
I'm
could
sorry.
actually go.
175, Julian. My bad.
Yeah,
175.
175. Yeah,
Yeah,
170.
we
Yeah,
made that
yeah,
mistake last week too.
yeah. So that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Hold on. Yeah, Caleb Smith is 175. Now,
Yeah.
come on now. But yeah, I would like to see that fight, Caleb Smith versus Buatsi, just to see, like I said, to see where Dominic Buatsi is.
Mhm.
He's a cool dude, bro. I mean, he's a humble kid. I like his sister too. His sister pretty good too. But like I said, I mean, what do you think, George? How did you go about this fight, man? Are you impressed by by the amount of put out in this fight with these two big dudes?
Yeah, man. Shit. I thought it was a good fight. Our early breakdown in the morning, yes, last week we thought this wasn't gonna go 12. I think I said 5. I think you said 8. So not that we weren't shocked that it didn't go the distance, but from Buatsi and Richard's output in their last fights, I will put a little fact out here too, real quick. Richards actually won more rounds against Bivol than Canelo. Everybody keeps throwing it out there. I don't know if anybody saw that on Twitter or Instagram or whatever, but which doesn't mean anything against Buatsi, but it just shows. Yeah, Richards is a legit 175. He's a good
Mm-hmm.
competitor. I don't think everybody gave him a chance. We didn't give him a chance. I didn't give him a chance past 6 rounds. So I ate my words. I'm not gonna eat crow, but I didn't make a bet. It was a good fight. I will say Buatsi won maybe like the first 7 rounds, but they were really close rounds, maybe even 8. No, I would say the first 7 really competitive rounds. They could have gone anywhere, either one, but I feel like Buatsi edged him out a little bit. He was getting he was getting hit a little too much for my liking. Well,
Yeah, me
Virgil
too.
Hunter,
That's a
Virgil Hunter in his corner, I think that's a good mix because you saw flashes of like an Andre Ward style, like an inside fighter, but he's still a little green, even though he's ranked. As you see here, he's ranked across the board. From the WBC, WBA, IBF, and WBO. WBC has him 4, WBA has him 3. And IBF has him number 2, so they think really highly of him. So which isn't bad. I agree. I think he's a great talent, and he can go places. He's just a little green. I think if he works a little bit on his defense, but I think it was just him trying to show out. You know what I mean? I'm assuming, if I'm just going off head, like this is probably his first main event. So a lot of pressure, to perform, to give a show. And either way, they gave a good show, man. And from the
Hell
Castaño
yeah.
Charlo weekend to the next weekend with that fight, like I think out of all the fights that happened all weekend from the ESPN, the Zone, and the
This one
Showtime, like I
was.
feel like this one stole the show out of everybody.
Yes, it
And of course,
did.
Top Rank. I'm always putting on great young talent. I love what they do there at Top Rank with Bob Arum. Continue to do that. I feel like he's found like the key to get these young guys their recognition, which is dope. But Bawati and Richard stole the show. I gave Bawati like the first 7 rounds, and then like the next 3 to 4 rounds, like you could say Richards. So coming away with this, I feel like it was like 7-5 total at the end.
But
And yes,
I had
Bawati,
15-13. I had a
yeah,
15-13 total.
yeah, Bawati did win. So, the judges didn't get it wrong there, but I know a lot of people were a little upset and calling it a robbery or too close for comfort.
I don't know
Maybe,
about that.
maybe some of the rounds were too close, but the right guy won. The future is bright, I think, for Bawati. So let's see what happens in the future for him. And then on to the next subject, man. This happened. This is announced, I will say, Monday or Tuesday after the weekend of Benavidez. I thought this was a little bit crazy with the timing, but this was going to be announced either way. With the talk Benavidez was going to be Canelo. Canelo's afraid of Benavidez. Canelo comes out, pulls the red rug, the carpet from underneath him to announce a September fight with Triple G and then a rematch with Bivol later on in the year. Now, I will say this: people are saying Canelo's ducking Bivol or ducking the rematch because he's going after Triple G. Like, finished reading the sentence in the headline, he's gonna fight Bivol after, so he's not ducking Bivol. There's nothing wrong
That
with
is
taking that
true.
fight. What do you? Well, I know you're excited about this, Julian.
No,
What are
I
your
am.
thoughts?
I think the loss just made this freaking fight huge. The loss that Canelo had. I mean, it kind of put the icing on the cake for Triple G. To open the door for him to, the third fight. That's a fight I didn't want to see. At the beginning, because actually, well, I still do think. I mean, this is gonna end by stoppage, and Canelo will win this fight in a fashionable state, I guess you can say. Um, I really do think a third fight though would put the indentation and the conclusion to a Triple G. From all the other 2 fights, this is what he needs to, I think, just to get back into that little mix that he needs to get into. And I think after this win, I mean, he goes after Bivol. He won't fight him this year. I highly doubt he's going to fight Bivol in December. I really do. Depending if he knocks out Triple G or ends that fight early, then yeah. But I can see the fight possibly February, March of next year, Bivol rematch.
Yeah.
But I don't see him rematching him in December. I do see the Triple G fight going on. And I just think the activity too had a lot to do with him, with the loss too. I mean, he's just been fighting fight after fight after fight after fight. I mean,
For
that does a
Canelo?
lot. Yeah,
Mm.
it does a lot to a fighter, But I mean, like I said, no excuse to the night that he had against Bivol,
Yeah.
But like I said, I mean, I just feel like this fight, just created more buzz, for Triple G, might be Triple G's last stand, maybe his last stand in the division.
Yeah.
Maybe his, but I do, like I said, I don't see this going full 12 rounds. This next fight, I do see a stoppage by 10.
Okay.
Only because, I just think Canelo has something on the shoulder right now, after
Yeah.
that loss.
Give me a sec, real quick. Give me a sec. Go ahead.
Go ahead,
Keep
do what
talking.
you have to do. Yeah, I mean, like I said, people, I mean, this Triple G he's been on yeah, he just got back. He's been inactive for the last 2 years. Um, the last 2 years. He fought Murata. Of course, he beat Murata. Um, but can him getting tagged up so much by Murata have? I mean, I just see Canelo hitting him. I see Canelo tagging him a whole lot more now. I don't see the same Triple G that we saw when Canelo fought him the second time or the first time. We don't see that. But yeah, I mean, the guy could still lay down some power. He still had packs a punch. And like I said, when this is boxing, I mean, we've seen crazier shit happen this year. Seen crazy stuff happen this year, and but I have Canelo going in on this one.
Yeah, I'm back. I'm going to be off screen. So
It's all good.
Yeah.
It's all good. It's
Yeah.
all good. We have our first guest on the show. First guest on the show, everyone. Baby Lucas.
Oh, there he is. There he is. Baby
Oh, there he
Lucas.
is. Baby Lucas, everyone. But yeah,
Yeah.
but like I was saying, George. I mean, this is just a hunch thing for Canelo right now. I think too. This is where he gets back on his winning way. Um, and like I said too, I mean, Triple G got a little bit too much for my comfort in the last fight. Against Murata,
Mhm.
and I feel Canelo will be landing a whole lot more shots this fight.
Yeah. It's it's hard to say, man, because I mean, one thing I will say, I know some people bring up the Marquez and Pacquiao, right? I
Pacquiao,
think it was
yeah,
the third fight, or fourth fight at 147. If you compare Marquez to Triple G, like people were not giving Marquez a chance at all whatsoever because he was already older. He shouldn't be fighting at that weight. Kind of the same thing what's going on here in the Triple G comparison,
yeah, but
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 fight
that's
against each
not,
other.
that's not
But fighting
Canelo
against
though.
each other, yeah. But people do. But just think about the two fights they had. It wasn't like neither one of them dominated each other. It was a black back and forth.
Yeah, it
One
was.
had an upper edge in a few rounds. The other one had the upper edge. So it was like back and forth. We can
You got to
say
remember
either
though, that
one
fight was
one.
3 years ago. That fight was three
Yeah,
years ago.
I
Remember
I
that, and
agree.
then the inactivity for 2 years, and
Yeah,
then
but
fighting Murata, getting hit as much as you got hit against Murata. I mean,
all
nothing
right.
against
Okay.
Murata.
Yeah, no, you're right. Let me finish. So, um, yeah, so that can be some of those are going to be to me. Look, I don't think this will go the distance either, and I don't think that Canelo will completely whitewash Triple G. I think yeah, Triple G got hit a little too much against the Murata. He was a layoff. It did take him about 3-4 rounds to finally get himself. And once he kind of was able to keep his composure and gain, he pretty much dominated the rest of the fight. His jab, his right hand, and a lot of people say the Canelo kryptonite is the jab, and Triple G has one of those good jabs. And I just like I said, I'm not picking Triple G. I just not gonna say that it's gonna be like a complete domination because I feel like the power of Triple G will still be there. It is at 168. It is Triple G's first fight at 168. So we don't
Yep,
know what kind
that's
of
what I'm
Triple
saying
G.
too. That's
Yeah,
another
we
thing
don't know
too.
we don't know a 40-year-old 168 Triple G might bring to the table. He's not going to be killing himself on the scale to try to keep that weight. So it might be a plus. Again, I just don't think it will be a complete whitewash. I do think that Triple G will have his moments, and it's just one of those things where you just have that rivalry where it doesn't matter if you guys fight 10 times, 15 times, 6 times, whatever. I just feel like it'll always be a competitive fight. But I just don't think that this will go 12. I believe I made predictions on like other shows, but in the chats, and I've said that Canelo will most likely stop him to the body. I think Triple G's body has been
Yeah,
getting softened up the last couple of times, especially against Murata. Like when Murata hit him, he kind of folded in a little bit, and you
yeah.
and I was like, man, if this was Canelo's body shot, this would be different.
Mhm.
But you show up to the level of your competition. I think this is just that competition for Triple G. He's always wanted this fight, even though it's a little bit later than usual. Like I know a lot of people were upset calling it a duck. I'm not mad with it. I'm happy
It's
that it's
not.
gonna happen. Yeah,
It's
I'm
not.
glad it's gonna happen because it's gonna put to rest finally. The sour taste that is left in people's mouths, whether if they like the fight or not. Um, but it's official. September Triple G, and then he's possibly said there's a rematch against Bivol. But I
Yeah.
just think we should take one step at a time or one fighter at a time. He's got Triple G right here, right up first. So, let's see how this goes, man. And that's cool. I'm pretty happy with that. I'm not upset with the fight. I'm glad it's gonna
I'm
happen,
not.
and it should
I'm not.
it should be finally be put to rest. So
Yeah,
yeah, so
true.
that's it with the Canelo Triple G stuff. Until that fight gets closer, there's gonna be so much more talk as this fight gets closer to September.
Yeah, big
The
time.
negative, the positive, the hating, the love, you name it, all of it's gonna be there. It's gonna be cool, it's gonna be
Yep.
funny. We'll be on the ride.
Yeah,
And
we'll
real quick,
be.
yeah, real quick salute to Chicano. What's up, bro? Good afternoon.
Shout out to
Um,
my brother.
but Yeah, so the next couple topics, there's been some fights that have been officially made. Obviously continuing with the Canelo announcement, we have the Mayor and Baumgartner announcement. What do you think of that,
Yeah.
Julian?
I loved it, man. I called it. We called it. It's something that like I said, the girls, like I said, right now, are putting on the show right now. They're showing the guys out a little bit. They're kind of showing the guys how it's done. I mean, even another one was announced today and signed. After that, I mean, the women's divisions are just gonna start heating up now.
Yeah, if you want,
Next
go
year,
ahead and mention both.
yeah, I mean, because we have, and then also today we got Savannah Marshall versus Clarissa Shields. I mean, you have two top-notch women fights that are gonna actually happen this year, which actually make it three total this year. Women headlining an actual boxing event. And like I said, I mean, the last fight with Serrano and Taylor really opened up that gate for this opportunity for them. I see another $1 million gate for both fights, both fighters. I mean, all four fighters. This is gonna set up a whole lot more, man, for these women. And that's what we want to do. We want to see the best fight the best. That's what these women are doing right now. So a lot of these guys, I mean, on here, just take notes. I mean, take notes because they're showing the boys of boxing how to do it, man. They're actually taking up to their level of competition. That's what we want to see in this whole thing. Want to see the level of competition. Want to see what people are made out of. No more ducking. And that's what these girls are showing. No ducks. No
Yeah,
ducks at
I'm
all.
no none, no ducks in the pond. But yeah, man, it's a good year for the women, man. The Katie Taylor, Serrano earlier this year, Mayor Bumgarner being announced. I don't know if they have an official date yet or venue. And then the Shields and Marshall being in September as well with Canelo. That's absolutely crazy, man. Absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely crazy. So
yeah,
I'm
it
I'm
is
pretty
gonna be
excited
crazy.
to see. I'm excited to see how it goes for the women.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's gonna be a fun one, man. I have a feeling it's gonna be a good one. In the coming months, man, it's gonna be great.
Yeah, sorry about that.
It's all
Can you hear
good,
me?
man. It's all good. Yeah, I got you.
All right, cool, 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 cool. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
those fights. I mean, once those fights get closer, we'll have the breakdowns with those officially. But I mean, it's a good year so far for the women, and there's plenty more women that are out there, man. And they can
there's
all
a
fight each
lot.
other.
There's a lot, man. So I mean, they're starting to come out now. I mean, it's like I said, it's very good for women's boxing, and their advertisement, of the sport.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. It is a great advertisement, and everybody's on board with it, man. I know it's taken a little while for the women to finally get it going, and they're getting it going. No complaints. But here's and then the next announcement was the Ortiz and AVENYSAN for August. I know they've been wanting
That's
this
gonna,
fight since last year.
that
Should be
should be a
good.
good fight, man. That should be a good fight for Virgil. Only because I mean people are saying that he's ducking high tier talent, but Albanese is actually ranked in a lot of the rankings right now. He still is ranked in the top 10 in a lot of the rankings, so it's not like he's not a known fighter. He's gone in there with some of the best too in that division. So this is something we're gonna see if his talent level right now is where it should be.
No,
I'm
yeah,
really,
you're absolutely right.
I'm really not upset with this fight at all. Because like I said, I mean, this is going to be his first real, I'd say his first actual test, of a real like welterweight. You know.
Yeah, no, I would say to attest. I guess you can also say that this is like Golden Boy's last time to try to get somebody to push him. You got of course Ryan Garcia, but we're not getting anything out of Ryan Garcia really, but disappointment. But it
Yeah,
is a good
really.
fight, and Avenesian has been looking for opponents. Um, I'm excited for this one, but I think his first big test obviously was the Me Machine and what he did, and he showed adversity, right, just like the Charlo. Once he was faced with that, you saw what he did. He came back and he finished that fight in dominating fashion.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. So it's an exciting fight though, man. I can't wait for it. It's going to be a good one. Uh, August, correct? That fight's going down.
Yeah, August 6th, I think. I know it's August. I just don't remember which day it is.
Pretty much the same date set probably as a Clarissa Shields fight, August 6th.
Yeah. Real quick, we did get a question in the chat from Royola. Do you think women's MMA has helped women's boxing start raising up in popularity?
Uh,
That's a good question.
yeah, that
I
is a
feel
good
like
question.
it is like I think it would say a 50-50, but I think as far
Yeah.
as who had the more popularity at first, I would say the women's boxing, because women's MMA was what didn't really happen until maybe Ronda Rousey, and that's when she brought that recognition. But you have pioneers like Christy Martin and Wolf,
Yeah.
Lucille Riker,
Holly Holm.
Holly Holm. I even heard Holly Holm might even get a Katie Taylor opportunity.
I like to see it. Katie Holm has hands. Katie
Yeah, she
Holm
still
has
got it.
hands, bro. I'm
Yeah, she
down
was a
with
little
that.
older. Yeah, yeah. So that was a
Nah,
good
nah,
question from Royola, man.
nah.
I like that
Yeah, it
was
was.
good.
Nah, I agree with your answer too, George. I mean, it's just women's MMA hasn't really been there all as long as women's boxing has.
Yeah,
But I really do think, I mean, the fights that they are putting out in the MMA are amazing. I mean, we've seen I mean, look at Namajunas. We've seen freaking Sparza beat freaking Nunez. Stuff like that. I mean, it's just
yeah,
starting to get crazy as
yeah. And
well.
then yeah,
In the
you're right. We
MMA.
can't forget Cyborg. I think Cyborg was like right around the time of not Misha Tate, but uh,
Yeah, but
Gina
Cyborg's still
Carano.
fighting. Yeah, but
Yeah, Cyborg's still
Cyborg's
fighting.
still
Yeah,
going. Yeah,
yeah. Gina
you know,
Carano was in that same generation with Cyborg. Misha Tate was in that same.
there's a lot,
There.
man.
Yeah, there's quite a few names. Even though there's plenty of MMA and boxing women's competitors, but you have the names that stick out. And yeah, so Cyborg is definitely one of those names that you can't forget in
Oh
the
yeah,
MMA
definitely.
world.
Oh, definitely. I mean, she paved the way too for some good fights, some big fights.
Yeah, I've
But yeah,
always
I
been a
mean,
fan.
oh yeah, I mean, who isn't?
Yeah, yeah. So, those were our little announcements here. You had the Triple G, Canelo being announced, Bumgarner, Mayer, Shields and Marshalls, Avenesian and Ortiz, and then next week, of course, is the Tank and Haney. So I'm actually glad that he's going to have at least 2 weeks to be able to acclimate to himself there in Australia. So that way, there's no excuses
Yeah,
out there. You
really.
know what I mean? But of course, topic of the show is the breakdown for Saturday's fight. Man, this has been a
And
crazy, entertaining. I don't know. I wouldn't want to call it a circus,
fun.
but it's just been crazy, dude.
Not not a circus.
Yeah, the
Not a
press
circus.
conference. Yeah, the press conference today was funny. Like finally, I feel like Rollie had some good shit talking going on for himself today. But that fight happens this Saturday, man. Julian, what do you see in this, man? Like, what are the okay? What do you think? Okay, here's just two questions real quick. How do you see this? How do you see this happening? And what does each guy have to do to win?
Oh man. So let's put it this
And who do
way.
you have winning?
Okay,
And
let's
who do
just
you have
start
winning?
start off. Okay, well, first of all, I have Tank winning this fight. I have Tank winning this fight. Only because I just think he has more of a boxing IQ than Raleigh does. Um, and Raleigh hasn't really been into a level of competition that Tank has been in with. Yeah, I mean, I understand. Yeah, we've seen Raleigh knock out some guy. His last fight was just completely uglier than shit. Like for real, like, it was definitely ugly. Very rough on the edge. But I think something like that you need to do with Tank. To frustrate him. Use that. Use that that type of game plan to go after a Tank. Rough him up. He can. I mean, Raleigh has power. He does have power. I think the puncher's chance that he has to knock him out is there. But, like I said, I just think Tank just a little bit more of a complete fighter than Raleigh is. I see Tank ending this fight in about 8 rounds, 9 rounds, depending on what Raleigh gives him. Because, like I said, Raleigh does throw wide. Raleigh does throw awkward. Um, but I just see an uppercut landing. I could see an uppercut landing or a setup for an uppercut landing. And I see it ending by 8. I do not see this going the whole distance at all.
Yeah, you're right. I don't think it's gonna go the distance. One pretty interesting comparison I've been seeing a couple of times is people are comparing Rollie to Mayorga, and that I mean, not saying
I
that
mean,
he's
I
gonna.
mean, I mean, I mean, I mean,
It
it makes
makes a little
sense.
sense.
It makes
Yeah,
sense,
makes a little sense.
but damn.
Yeah, I mean, nobody was giving Mayorga a chance against Vernon Forrest, against Shane, against Shane Mosley. Nobody was giving this guy a chance. Same thing like now, like people are giving him a puncher's chance, but nobody's really giving him a chance until I think he can actually maybe, get a win, whatever. But same thing. It's I think the lead up to it did get me a little more excited than
Oh, it did.
Minnesota.
That's what made me want to watch it. I mean, I just want to see who beats the shit out of someone.
Yeah,
Really in
no, for
this
sure.
one. I mean,
Yeah, that's
it's not really a clear favorite for me. That's gonna win. It's just the amount of shit that's been talked this whole. I mean, ever since last year, ever since Rollie got in trouble and got it, and with the accusations and stuff like that. I mean, it's been hyped up pretty much since then, and we were excited for that to happen in what December when it was supposed to happen.
yeah, something like that. But yeah, same.
You know,
I just there was a little intriguing, just to
Oops, my
see.
bad.
No good. No, just
Hey,
there's really
hey.
no hype for it right away. But like as the weeks went on, the shit talking came on. It got you a little more excited. And if you're a betting guy, I know Chicano, you're a betting guy. The odds are out there. I think it's like minus like 1,000 or something like that. And then for Rolly to win, I think it's like a minus 300 or 400. I might be a little bit closer, I might be off, but pretty much, from what I understand, is if you pick Rolly to win either way, I think $100 will get you like $800. Um,
Yeah,
so
that'd be
yeah, I
crazy.
just think,
If he loses, that'd be crazy. It's
yeah,
just
yeah, it will be
like,
crazy. I think there was I have a little conspiracy theorist in my head sometimes. One of the conspiracy theories I had in my mind that actually went away as of yesterday, last night, watching some of the shows that. So my conspiracy theory was this. This is right. We know now, but we were thinking this was Tank Davis's last fight with TMT. He was talking a lot of shit. Yes, he kind of was, tweeting stuff on Twitter,
I
deleting it,
still,
kind of taking.
I still think it's the last of him, TNT.
Yeah, he was,
I
taking the
still
little
do.
shots. Still, he's taking his little shots at Mayweather, even though they weren't like, hey, Mayweather's a piece of shit or whatever. And he was just throwing his little, little light jabs. I was thinking, and yesterday too, Coach Malachi mentioned, look, if this fight was to be close, it goes 12. You think that Ellerby and Floyd won't forget the little bit of shit talking that Tank was saying? If this fight ends up being closer than we think, because yeah, this is Tank's first big fight. I mean, not big fight, but his first fight against a guy that's actually at 135. Like, if you look at the last opponents, everybody has come up.
Yeah,
Everybody has
no,
been
it's
coming
true.
up
It's
from weight.
true. I mean, even Raleigh said the same thing.
Yeah, so I believe that. So if I'm a betting guy, like I still would throw maybe like 50 or $100 on Rolly. I do have at least that to throw out. And yeah, either that or I go to the casino, throw $100, get a little drunk, and then drive home. My pockets are empty because either way, it's gonna happen. Empty pockets. But
Yep.
and everybody says there's a puncher's chance, man. And Rolly is awkward, and he does pack some power. And he's got like the underrated speed. I think he's pretty fast for
No, no,
for
he's
uh
quick as hell. He's quick as shit.
yeah.
But like I said, I mean, with that style, work against the Tank Davis. I mean, will that style work against anybody at this division? Because I
And see,
mean,
I'll answer that. So here's my thing. Boxers, usually when you train like a really good trainer, right? Like you train for someone that's going to be just as good as you are or just the same amount of skill as you are. So you understand footwork, you understand jab, you understand distance. So you're going to fight against a guy that does that, but everybody's different. You have a power puncher, you have a counter puncher, you have boxers from the outside, some that's the boxer puncher. So like you can kind of train for that, like 'cause you expect your dancing partner to kind of match you in a way. Rolly is not going to match you. He's not
better.
going to give you. He's not going to give you what you expect. So it will be a little awkward. But this one definitely isn't going 12. I
Nope.
think if I'm going with Tank, I think you said 8. I think
Yeah,
it'd
that's
be
about eight.
probably no later than 10. No later than 10 for me. But if I'm a betting man, like I still would put my money on Rollie to upset because the comeback on it is actually really good.
No, yeah, for sure. I mean, like I said, the puncher's chance for Rollie is there. The natural 135 weight's there for Rollie. Like you just said, I mean, it should play out to put some. I mean, like I said, this really should be. This should be a show for the first half of the fight. Ain't gonna lie to you. I really do think they're gonna put on a show for the first half of the fight, and like I said, I just feel that Gervonta Davis will catch that one big shot, and just finally just put him out.
As long as his hands don't break.
Yeah.
As long as his hands don't break. But yeah, on paper, like I said, on paper, you're gonna think the guy that actually has a natural box or that has the actual boxing skill should completely dominate him. But the factor in it for Rollie is he's really awkward. So like if Rollie had a little bit of decent skill, yeah, he has 14 fights. Like I would feel more comfortable saying, you know what, that Davis will completely dominate him because he's going in there with a person that's going to dance with him. Like Rollie's not there to dance. Like Tank Davis is pop blocking, and you got Rollie that's freaking doing cumbia. So you got two different musics going on with two different dance styles, and that's the way I feel like this fight goes.
Yeah. I mean, you just gotta figure out whose step you're gonna fight.
Yeah,
In this whole thing. Whose dance are you gonna dance? Like I said, I mean, the first half of the fight should be interesting. Just to see what Raleigh's gonna do. Will he be aggressive? Will he actually box? Will he make it awkward for him? Those are questions that we're asking ourselves right now. I think. You know, will Tank be able to get that awkwardness? And beat Rollie? Because I mean,
yeah, finally.
he's gonna have to cut off the ring with Rollie. He's gonna have to. I mean, Rollie's gonna want to be going around the whole damn ring like Mayweather.
I don't know. Rollie, I think Raleigh's going to be there to be hit. I don't think he's
Yeah,
gonna.
well,
I
I
don't think
hope
you'll
he
see any
is.
lateral.
I
Yeah, I
really
don't even
hope he
think you'll
is.
really see him like using any kind of lateral. I think he might go backwards, but I don't really see him trying to use like all four corners of the ring. I think he
The only
will try to
difference is
do like
Rollie
you
though.
said,
Rollie could fight backwards though because he's so awkward.
and he's long.
He could fight off his back foot. That's the difference between Rollie though and
Yeah,
a lot of other
exactly.
fighters that Tank has fought. He could fight off his back foot because he's always used to throwing off balance. Like you see in a lot of his fights, he's used to throwing. It looks like he's throwing off balance, but it really isn't. He just set up. That's just the way he's set up. I mean, he just sets up awkwardly, and that's how he wins these fights.
Yeah,
But
definitely,
like I
man.
said, I mean, it's yet to be seen. But like I said, I mean, I just feel Tank has a little bit more in the tank, pretty much. I guess you could say, of boxing IQ.
Yeah,
And I really think that's going to play a big part in this fight.
more tools,
Yeah, the
more tricks. In the bag of tricks there for him, and I think
exactly.
everybody agrees with that. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, it's just everybody has a different bag of tricks, and like I said, I mean, yeah, Raleigh could win it with the punch, and he can combo too. I mean, I've seen Raleigh combo. Combo is
yeah,
great.
yeah.
He
He's not
could
completely
combo.
terrible. He's just really awkward. Yeah, he could
Yeah,
put his
it's
punches
just
together.
yeah. I mean, his just his style makes it look like it's like a Prince Nassim type of that's exactly like that style almost. Like I would say
Yeah,
a Prince not
true.
on the Prince Nassim type style, and he was awkward for a while too, till somebody finally beat the shit out of him. Well, who was it,
Hmm.
Whitaker?
No,
Hey,
no,
come on.
Barrera.
No, Barrero. Yeah, that's right, Barrero. That's right. No, Barrero beat the crap out of that fool, bro. And I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, and I think okay. I guess one more question before we kind of wrap this up. So if Rolly wins, where do you put this? This is be considered an upset, right? Where would you put this upset with the Mike Tyson and Douglas, with the Ruiz and Joshua?
Oh
There's
man,
there's there's been several, like, but would you put it up there in the top three?
it'll be up there in the top three for sure. I mean, because we're expecting Tank to do what Tank does. On paper we're expecting Tank to win. But yeah, I mean, this would be in the top three or five. This would be definitely in the top five. Of
Yeah,
upsets in the hall of boxing. Because I mean, we're really not. A lot of people really aren't giving Raleigh that chance.
no,
So, but yeah, like I
yeah,
said, I mean, anything could happen. But if it does, I mean, it's gonna be a lot of silence on our Facebooks and everything. I'll tell you that right now.
oh, oh yeah. Not a
There'd be a
lot of
lot of
happy.
silence. Nope, not at all. I
And we
mean,
know who they are too. We know which ones they are.
yeah.
Not by name.
But now we know some of them are. But yeah, like I said, I just don't see it happening. I just see Tank winning this fight and doing what he does.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I even think on the undercard is Santa Maria versus Ramos. Did you see that? Ramos,
Wilson? Abel
no.
or Wilson?
So who fought Santa Maria? The uncle fought him, right? He lost. Now the
Yeah.
nephew is getting the crack at Santa Maria. I just saw that this morning.
I think that's
Santa Maria,
Wilson, dog.
maybe, but I know that I heard that like I was driving and listening to it. I didn't really look too much into it, but that's kind of like a revenge for his uncle getting beat. So you got the nephew now going into the fight. But you know, Julian, this is what we do sometimes. We are spur of the moment dudes.
Yeah, we are.
It has been a busy month, you know, graduations. We were supposed to do this yesterday, but we both got tied up with stuff and just lost track of time and didn't have no free time. But here we are, you know, and not trying to compete with Kenny. You know, Kenny's our boy. We love Kenny. And if you guys haven't heard his album, please go listen to it and stream it.
KO Kenny, real KO Kenny on all platforms.
Yeah, all on the
Check
table.
that out.
Yeah,
check it out, man.
Real quick. Tomorrow, I will be on the Chicano Prophet channel on Al Chile. We'll be breaking down the George Foreman and Shannon Briggs, and then current events as well. So yeah, Julian, good show.
Yeah, man, it's always a pleasure, man. Always a pleasure having Lucas on the show too. Always a pleasure, man. Freaking, but like I said, hey, man, appreciate everybody for coming out with us today. I mean, I know a little bit middle of the day. Some of you guys are probably still at work, or maybe some of you guys are just wasting time watching us.
Hey, either way, love it.
Yeah, love you guys, man. Like I said.
And then, and then Crayola, what up? Shout out to you, dude. Thanks for subscribing. I know you're new.
Oh, for sure.
I'm pretty sure Julian knows who you are.
Yeah. No, I know exactly.
Yeah, thanks for the shout out, man.
Yeah, no, for sure, man. Just hit up this podcast too, man, Royce. That's So Maya podcast. Now, those dudes actually talk about, just like movies, alien talk, stuff like that, So, I mean, George, I know that's your neck of the woods too, so we're going to have to get on with these dudes.
Hey, dude, for sure. Roy, what's up, man?
Shout out to Roy and Corey, man. We're into that kind of stuff too, man.
Oh, yeah. Just because we've been talking here doesn't mean we got the, the mouth and to know the shit, so.
Yeah, we love that kind of stuff too, man. But like I said, everybody just continue to subscribe to Off the Ropes Boxing MMA. We're just, like I said, just probably announcement coming probably by July. About an event.
Absolutely.
And like I said, just trying to get just ironing out details here, just trying to get everything before I even say anything, even George.
Yeah, believe me, I really want to.
But like I said, I appreciate everybody. Appreciate everybody for sure. And like I said, this is Off the Ropes, baby. We're doing what we do. Ropes.
Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll talk to you guys soon.
That's right, man.